I've been alcohol free for some time now, and I was listening to a podcast, and the guest on the podcast, before at the beginning of the podcast, they do a drinking game, which I kind of find to be a little immature, but I'm working on being not non-judgmental. It's like peer pressure to drink. And I'm not a fan of peer pressure, especially to do something that is absolutely harmful and toxic to your body, your mind, your spirit. On so many levels, alcohol is dangerous. It's a substance that's legal, but it shouldn't be. But anyways, I digress. So I was listening to a podcast, and the guest on the podcast said she was in her 60s, and she said that she won't be participating in the drinking game because she quit drinking before she was even of legal age to drink, which means that she was drinking young, and she grew up fast after listening to the interview, and she was basically living on her own and independently, I think at the age of 15. So she quit drinking before she became legal to actually drink. So they were shocked and astounded by that. And she said that people ask her, well, you've been sober you haven't drank for so many years. Why can't you just have a glass of wine or have a drink? And she basically said it wasn't worth the risk, that she didn't like who she was when she drank, and it's just not worth it. She didn't want to do it and find out. And they were puzzled by that, and I completely resonated with what she was saying. Because I, as someone who has been sober for some years now, I like who I am when I don't drink. I do not like who I am when I drink. And it's not like I would get wild and crazy, although I had my moments where my inhibitions would be down and I would do out of character things or take risks that I would not normally have taken. But I didn't like what it felt like internally. I didn't like having something that I would just totally lose control to, that I would completely lose myself in it. Because I was the type of drinker who, there's no drinking one drink. What's one drink? If we're drinking, we're drinking. Like we're all in. I am and have been a little bit of an all or nothing type of personality. If I'm drinking, then I'm gonna drink the whole bottle. That just made sense to me. But now that I don't drink, I really love who I am not drinking. And it's not about control necessarily. It's more about discipline. And I like to find healthier, more uplifting ways to feel the sense of freedom and liberation, other than drinking. So I really work to not judge people who drink, because I understand that we live in a social society, and most of us have kind of tricked ourselves into thinking that drinking is fun. But my spirit doesn't see it as fun. My spirit sees it as something that suppresses it. It's a suppressant to me. It's a suppressant to the essence of who I am and who I could be. It's a gateway for other spirits and other energies to take over and dominate my essence. That's how I see alcohol. So I don't want to give myself over to something that could harm me or use me for something that I'm not willing to be used for. So my spiritual people will probably understand that more than most. Because when you are connected to the spirit world in a deep way, there are entities that will try to use you and lead you astray. And alcohol is a gateway to your spirit. And I choose not to willingly be used for spirits that I do not give permission to use me. So I know that that's going to resonate for someone. That's going to make a lot of sense. And if you've been thinking about no longer drinking and you've been feeling this call and this pull to, then you should explore that and see where it leads you.